Alrighty guys, welcome back, and what I got for you today is that we are going to be diving into some of the newer Resident Evil 4 Remake gameplay exclusively from Game Informer. They have released some new gameplay of the cabin. There's some good details describing what some changes are going to be coming in the remake itself, as far as things that they have decided to add and things they've decided to remove, as well as, you know, the developers going through their bit of how they are creating the game, what they see in their vision, and so on and so forth. This is a shorter trailer, so we're gonna take a little bit of a dive into it, see what it has, might break a few things down, and then we'll follow up with some extras after that. Possibly gonna be looking into the cabin fight as well, so let's get into it.
In 2005, Resident Evil 4 changed the face of survival horror. The game's phenomenal blend of action and horror, combined with its revolutionary over-the-shoulder gameplay, cemented it as a bona fide classic, a magic Capcom hopes to recapture with a modernized remake. That reinvention graces Game Informer's cover this month. We visited Capcom's headquarters in Osaka, Japan, to play Chapter 1 and 5 of Resident Evil 4, and speak to its principal designers, including directors Yasuhiro Ampo and Kazunori Kodoi, who previously led the Resident Evil 2 remake. Viewers can also look forward to never-before-seen gameplay and a new rapid-fire interview. Beginning today, Digital Magazine subscribers can read 12 pages sharing new details on the opening section, breakdowns of Ashley's gameplay and other tweaks, plus impressions of the church, cemetery, and house battle segments. To keep up with all of our coverage, bookmark Game Informer.
Okay, that's about all that we have for that. But what we can throw in here is the way that some of these segments are playing out. So what we know of the enemies in Resident Evil 4.
Can read 12 pages.
What we know of the enemies in Resident Evil 4, they are, especially when they've captured Ashley, there was never an option to be able to actually execute them. Every time that she gets caught, you know, they take her away. About the only option that you were able to exercise during this moment is just to kick them. Basically, it drops her, and then, you know, you can continue on with her until, you know, they pick her up again, and then it's the same deal until you eventually kill them. But what's kind of nice about Leon's additional knife that he has, he is able to have execution type style abilities here to where he can actually take them out in one hit, which is actually really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought that this was gonna be longer than this, but we got a little bit of a taste of, you know, like the rain effects. It's just really well implemented how the character models just look so detailed. RE's engine is something of itself. It has its own identity, just has like its own beautiful textures and graphics in itself. You know, when it comes to the lighting, the character models, the overall presentation is just amazing. But yeah, like we were saying from here, you know, this was about the only option that we had to be able to kind of break free of the enemies in this. But now he has a knife to where he can actually kill them on reaction. As I guess, as long as you have it has a bar right here, so which means that if the bar is completely out, it's probably not going to be available to us at that time. So being able to use your option to save this type of a attack for these particular moments is a very key thing to take into account. But anyway, what people were kind of talking about, from what I saw from the internet, the rain seems to be kind of setting everybody off a little bit. I mean, I can understand that definitely from a perspective. It looks like the rain is just like wanting to be like super. It's like super involved in everything you're doing. Like the light reflects off of it when he runs. It just looks like it is just taking. It can take over like an entire segment and maybe that's something that they possibly could tone down a little bit, because it does seem a little, I don't know, it does seem like a little too detailed. Yeah, he barely missed that axe throw, but just a little bit too detailed, I think. I don't know. I think that they could probably tone it down just a little bit. But yeah, you can see as he's running up on the enemy here, he had about half of a bar of his knife. Yeah, right here. So I'm thinking that as long as he probably has a respectable amount, he'll be able to do a one-time execution to be able to save Ashley from getting taken away. This was probably the cabin. This was definitely the cabin scene. So we'll probably take a look at this. I'd say we probably can go ahead and take a look at this now. And I gotta tell you, Ashley just looks phenomenal. She looks phenomenal. Leon looks amazing. Lewis looks amazing. I mean, they really went all in on this detail. It is just so surreal how they've taken these characters from what they originally looked like in Resident Evil 4 and how it is so incredibly polished. You know, when we're talking about how they obviously, you know, the way that technology can implement the real imagery of a person's face and their features and really bring it in, especially with like an Unreal Engine type of technology from what we saw from Callisto Protocol. It was just crazy just how detailed from real life to what the actual cinematic game engine can really make a character look. And, you know, I don't know, you know, are we going to have some cinematic type of opportunities where, you know, we kind of see this in games where you have like your typical in-game engine, you know, your character, you know, makes the facial expressions they typically make when they're doing things and whatnot. But then, you know, when the camera cuts to segments like these, it's a little more detailed. It's a little more cinematic. You can definitely tell that it's not that total in-game engine, but it's close. We're as close as we can get anymore these days with how detailed these characters can look in their animations and stuff, and how they really do perform in gameplay. So here we are. We're at the start of the cabin fight scene, which this fight was just totally. This fight was totally insane. The first time I remember doing this, I think I died several times, because you just have these guys coming from all different sorts of directions, and you really got to be on your game if you want to be able to at least survive like the first few waves.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Game Informer. I'm your host, Alex Van Aken, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of this exclusive gameplay footage that we have from Resident Evil 4 Remake, Chapter 5. We're going to be seeing some church gameplay,
seeing how
gameplay, and
involved they are in their emotions,
as well as just overall fighting Ganado and yeah, trying to stay alive. So we've got about 12 minutes of footage here to show you today, and I'm joined by Marcus Stewart. How are you, Marcus?
I'm feeling great. I'm happy to be seeing this section again, because as I mentioned in the cover story I wrote, I've had a lot of fun playing it.
Absolutely. So yeah, we are. This footage starts out, and we are, simply escaping from the church. This is how many hours into the game would you say this is, Marcus?
Okay, I did say that we were going to look at the cabin stuff first, but let's go ahead. Since we're already here, let's go ahead and check out some of this footage from Chapter 5.
It's hard to say, because we don't know how long the other chapters are. It's got to be at least probably like 3-ish hours, I would guess.
Yeah.
This is not our gameplay, by the way. If people are wondering, this is a B-roll that Capcom provided, so this is someone on the team playing, not us.
Yes, we did play through this section, everything that you see today. An important disclaimer, Capcom did help out with accommodations for travel. That means like flights, hotel, in association with this cover trip. We didn't have any of those conversations.
She feels so safe.
Our boss.
She feels so safe in his arms.
Show up and do our job, but it is an important disclaimer. That being said, we are not influenced by that.
There's Han again.
I've secured Baby Eagle.
Copy that. Is she okay?
Affirmative. Well done, Condor 1. I'll dispatch a chopper ASAP. I'm sending you the coordinates for the extraction point. Make your way there, and don't let anything happen to Baby Eagle.
Copy that.
Hurry. The weather is getting worse. Roost out.
I was definitely interested.
In game now, which is nice.
Wow, just look how detailed the map is. Wow, it's incredible. I was actually kind of interested in how the Hunnigan interactions would play out, because you know how we did that through Resident Evil 4, where he would, he'd pick up his walkie and it would be just a whole separate video feed of just her and him talking to each other in their little communicator. And this is kind of interesting how it seems like it's going to just completely be tied straight into gameplay, and you are, having your conversations that you're having with her. But I don't know, maybe that could change, or maybe that is how it's going to be now. It was always nice to kind of see Leon's Leon's expressions, when they were talking with each other. And we also know of the little time when Salazar gets on the communicator, and they both go back and forth with each other with some comical stuff. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, you can kind of move around while it's happening.
Yeah, nice shot of the map there. Going to the
really nice shot
where nothing will go wrong, I'm sure. So yeah, in the beginning you saw Leon and Ashley sort of just talking about like, hey, we need to get out of here. Fun fact, without spoiling, there's a little extra area in that upper deck that you can find if you don't want to just beeline it straight for that ladder. So keep an eye out up there.
Of course, we need some extra exploration in this game.
Making our way through here. Leon being a gentleman, moving that out the way because he's all big and strong.
Was that Ashley actually? Kind of like telling you, how she's feeling right now. Okay, there is our one-shot assassination takedown.
And yeah, this part was pretty fun to get through. I tried to get through it stealthily the first couple times.
Oh no, they got her! Leon, go get her! And he barely missed that axe. There we go. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Spread out.
Oh, the Plaga is mutated. Leon's taking damage. Oh man, look how just look how good.
Notice,
look how good the inventory looks.
In the clips here.
So
again,
smooth.
That's a Capcom thing, so this is
smoothly detailed.
Going to be a straight run through of the chapter. It's gonna jump around at points.
And as we know, the flashbangs,
those,
of course, the flashbangs definitely are the go-to.
Enter the cemetery.
They're the go-to to taking down the mutated Plaga.
The side quests, which is sort of a spin on the cemetery puzzle. As you can see, you can still
get
shoot
the egg
bird's nests to get those precious eggs.
Yes.
A chicken egg that's in a bird nest in the tree. Don't ask me how that works. You know how it is. But I mean, in the original game, you killed snakes and got chicken eggs.
And there's the merchant.
There he is.
We can make all of our illustrious purchases and sales, that is.
Side quest, which is what you're going to be doing. One has to wonder how he moves with all that heavy equipment in that coat. Must be pretty strong. It's kind of like a...
Yeah, let's skip a little forward here, see where we're going to be at.
He's probably pretty strong. But,
I was thinking he's just like into
parry mechanic, which I enjoy. And you can see there's another side quest right there. You're going to want to keep an eye out in the environment for those blue flyers.
Okay, so these are what the side quests are going to be. That's nice.
That was one of the more involved quests.
And that's one thing. That's one thing that to comment on. The QuickTime events are no longer going to be a thing in this game, and I think we all kind of know that the QuickTime events were a staple feature in Resident Evil 4 in the original. I mean, you had things like the boulder. It was one of our first QuickTime events that we initiated. You had the Del Lago fight at the Pon El Gigante. when you're fighting that big old mutated monster, and the Krauser plus Leon fight. I'm actually going to be very interested in wondering exactly how that's going to play out, because that entire fight with him in the first initiation with him before he mutates is completely quick time event. I can't think of a first interaction that we have with him where it's not a quick time. It's not a quick time moment. It's only after he actually mutates further at that outdoor location. It has like a few levels to it, I believe, where we can actually engage in actual gameplay and fight him and whatnot. We still have moments where quick time events are a necessity, so it really does make me curious and wondering how they're going to implement the newer style of gameplay in place of these quick time moments, because again, some of those fights were specifically stylized around the quick time events in themselves. So I'm very curious to see exactly how those are going to play out this time, because I mean, you would think in some instances we have quick time moments because we're dodging around, and we need to go through an area, and then something might come up from like a vent and try to stab us and whatnot. So if they're really going to be removing all of that, it'll be interesting to see how you're going to be able to play around those sections and continue forward.
We need to keep moving.
And you won't see the solution in this footage, but you will see.
But yeah, just look at this. Look at this room. How it kind of just feels like you're in a witches type of environment where there's spells that are going all around you, and we're going to be initiating in some plaga type witchcraft or whatnot. But yes, these environments are going to be so breathtaking. They look so breathtaking that it's going to be so enjoyable to actually explore them fully and see all the detail that they're bringing to life in this game.
For you.
Yeah.
The dog is hard to find. We are going to show the dog, but the way to find the dog will be, I guess, a little bit of a mystery. And also important to note, we
A little
turned
bit
left when we
differently.
left that door. There is another path behind us if we were to turn right out of that door that goes into an underground tunnel that like takes you up through a well in the village.
So yeah,
there's a lot of
that
paths
knife, I'm telling you, it just
available.
makes things a lot more
Yeah,
simple.
Like when
we
both came through here, we just assumed.
definitely allows you to be able to conserve your ammo a lot more and make better choices to be able to take out enemies. The option of being able to have an execution type of a move here where we can make it quick and painless. I like that.
The way the camera's framed, we're like, okay, it's the only way to go. But yeah, one of the producers.
Oh, look out,
was
Leon!
like, hey, check this
Check
out.
him out after
We're
these.
like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Not bad, right?
Here we go. We've got the.
Oh yes. Impress
Lady Knight.
Ashley with your
Lady thought she
close
did a
quarters
good
combat,
job
my
with
man.
Leon didn't work out for her, and this is
I was gonna just comment on the rain. I know that there's a lot of talk about
Rain Gate.
Rain Gate. I do agree. I think it can be tuned down a little bit. It does feel like intentionally, like it is intentionally obfuscating the environment.
Oh
Kinda
wow,
adds
where
to
are
that-
we now?
That tension, like you can't see what you're shooting. I do agree, though. It's a bit much. And you know, it would be great, Marcus, if there's like a rain slider. I'm kidding.
Okay. So also what I was kind of thinking about with the side quests actually give you an opportunity, to explore more of the map rather than to keep everything completely, utterly story oriented. It's really nice to have an option to be able to go to maybe even different areas that they could be adding onto the map specifically for some of these side quests that will give you an opportunity to explore the landscapes and explore different types of like indoor buildings like this, where you'll have various types of objectives that you'll need to complete inside, there might be puzzles, there might be traps. There obviously will be enemies inside a few of these. I'm guessing that you'll have to take down in order to get to the mission objectives finishing mark. So that's going to be exciting. Again, like with a remade world like Resident Evil 4's location, yes, I mean, we want to be able to kind of do all this extra exploration to see exactly what they're really going to be adding in that is going to allow us to explore beyond, again, like I was saying, explore beyond the story's focused path.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Nice little downpours. We see
Sadler.
I love the lighting in this game. Like it just the bloom on the flashlight and just how dark everything is. Like it just makes especially like interiors like this, if they lift Ashley up to do her thing, get Leon up there. Yeah, it just makes the interiors creepier, like that. Like the first time that owl,
that's
you just see the glowing eyes in the.
I didn't jump, but I saw it. I was like, okay, that was just kind of in your face.
I will say there were a couple times when I was playing the demo where I was kind of in a very dark environment and Leon wasn't pulling up his flashlight, which is kind of frustrating. So I'm just kind of like clambering around in the dark.
Oh wow! Look at the wolves.
It's the dog.
Oh no!
It's got like weird. It looks like a scorpion tail. Now that I'm looking at it again. So yeah, Capcom
extra mutated
also
and deadly.
For those wondering, that this dog is not the dog that Leon can rescue in the original game.
Of course, I don't think so.
Presumably dead. So at the time we kind of were like, oh, maybe this is the dog, but they were very clear to point out, like, nope, different dog. And you're like, okay. But yeah, that dog fight is pretty hard.
Yeah,
They
his
also wouldn't
melee.
definitively answer if it was the same dog.
His melee strikes definitely have a very heavy impact. I mean, especially with the game that it's not like totally focused on that close quarter combat in a wide variety, but it is nice that if you are going to include close quarter combat in games like this, you really want your character to kind of have like that powerful punch or powerful stomp. I feel like that is insanely important in a game like this, in a game like Dead Space, where like Isaac Clarke, he only has a punch and a stomp, and obviously, his weapons that he can shoot. But when you really do get in those moments where you can get an up close and personal taste with the enemy, you want to be able to lay down the law with those ferocious strikes and really make sure that they have a heavy impact on contact.
In this game, as in the old game, in terms of the one that's dead at the beginning of the game, they're like, maybe it's not the same dog, and it's like,
I am just in awe at these areas. Yeah, there's our medallion searching.
Yeah, so you see, it's 1 of 5. So I asked Capcom about that because in the original game it's kind of like 15 in the same area, and they said that that side quest reappears in different parts.
Right. So
it sounds like you're gonna be shooting.
Okay, so hopefully we're about up at the cabin area, but yeah, the iconic little medallion searches that you did in the original. So it's kind of cool how in this those are going to be tied to side quests. So it's not going to be like a running continuing type of deal where you just go to the newer locations that you explore, and okay, here I have I'm 9 of 10 and I got about 3 medallions in this area, let me get them. That makes it 12. Wait, did I say 9 of 10? Let's say 9 of 15. That makes it 12 of 15. And, you can continue on from there. This scene, like, tying them into these little side missions kind of gives it that extra context where maybe, like, each one has, like, some different type of, I don't know, like what we were seeing from the side quests that you pick up. It looks like they might have some dialogue attached onto them as far as like what we were seeing, the writing. So there might be some context in there with those. So having multiples might have some kind of a different type of, I don't know, I'm just spitballing, maybe like different, like a puzzle type thing where maybe one side mission kind of gives you a little bit of a message, and then when you find that second side mission for say the next 5 medallions, maybe there's another piece of that message that you find in there. I'm just just throwing some things out there. You know, it's probably not going to be exactly like that.
Shooting medallions outside of just like the village area, and they just sort of like divided them into like batches of 5.
I just love how like what are their names exactly? I mean, we know that the Los Illuminados is basically behind this, but like the villagers themselves, okay, we just call them the villagers. They just the way they run. Leah, let's just like rewind that for a second. I just think it is just hilarious, like how they just kind of run the way that they do.
Outside of just like the village area, and they just sort of like divided them into
Yeah, look at them. They're like,
batches of 5.
we're going in. We're going in.
You.
Uh-oh.
Listen, about earlier.
Yeah, about that.
Hey, I see you found your missing senorita.
Senorita has a name, Miss Ashley. You are?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Very good questions, unfortunately.
Uh-oh, here they come. Save the pleasantries for later.
Okay, it's game time.
And due to the cuts, there's a lot of that village before the bridge that we ran over that you can fight through and explore.
Oh wow,
There's a
I
lot
mean,
that they didn't show in this footage.
you know, I was watching the original cabin scene before this, and it is just, if you were to just look at this from that perspective to now, I mean, it is just incredible.
where,
It is just
at least around halfway
incredible
through, the
how
first appears,
how amazing this looks right now.
Right.
in that area just before the bridge that we crossed. But
Yeah. 'cause
Oh,
in the
that
footage
was
we
easy.
put
He
out,
got that up
this,
pretty quick.
People have seen the cow guy shows up
Appears
in this fight.
here.
Uh-oh,
but
someone
you
coming
actually
in the
fight
window.
him,
We
well
take the
before
head off.
this.
Oh, the sniper looks
So,
really
yeah,
good.
so when
it
he
seems
shows
like
up
he's
in the
gonna
fight-
be
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
parry.
he's definitely a recurring enemy.
That's
but when
nice.
he shows up in the fight, you've already had to fight him before, and so I feel like it's extra tense.
Thankfully,
It's like,
they
oh my God, I gotta
give
fight this
Leon
guy
some
now.
extra defensive options
Yes.
here.
So-
I saw some people speculating that he might be a single persistent enemy that follows you. I'm
No.
pretty sure that is not the case. Yeah, I think he's
No,
just another
I have-
enemy type.
I have killed him several times in different areas.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Lewis is captured. Leon, help him!
So this fight was pretty wild as it is in the
Oh,
original, but even
and
more so here.
theirs is a
There he
new
is, just
enemy
bull man.
that
There's
we've
a
been
lot of,
seeing
like,
some
back
talk
and forth.
about.
Is he a cow? Is he a bull? But I was like, he's got a horn there. Not be a bull thing.
Well, a bull is just a
All
cow.
headshots.
It's a male cow.
I mean,
Leon's
yeah, they're the same
specialty.
thing. But you know, like bulls have horns.
Okay,
You know.
that's fair. That's fair. Listen,
He's got a
Oh
single
wow,
horn,
yeah,
it looks
he's
like.
definitely gonna have some. He's definitely gonna have
and
some.
yeah, that's the end of the action.
What we were saying, that enemy is definitely going to have some moves, particular style, probably gonna have to get used to. And yeah, here is the elegant mask. We pick this up, and then later down the line, we find the treasure gems to infuse with this. So it's a really interesting concept here, because the idea of putting some of these treasures together specifically for the merchant, you can sell these separately, but if you actually combine every single one of these up, and you will be able to sell it for like an incredible total value of way more than what it's originally worth. So that definitely makes saving these a very good idea if you want to be able to rack up your PTAs, so you'll be able to buy the utmost valuable items that the merchant has to offer.
Gameplay we've got to show off. This is a look at
Yeah, now it's worth
putting
8.
gems inside of
Worth 13.
treasures to.
Now it's
increase
worth
their
24,
value.
so it increases it by like
Different
nearly
combinations
5
of
times
gems
the
and
amount.
Different bonuses. There are now customized cases that have different bonuses. So, like the black case has an increased drop rate for L resources.
Yeah.
And you can pick up charms. as
Oh.
well, the chicken charm. The charms. and
That's
the
kinda
cases,
cool.
They give you little passive bonuses.
Yeah. And you can do that stuff in the typewriter menu, as you saw. So you can't do that.
Now,
all the
wait a
time,
minute.
just
When you
reach those
equip...
saves point.
Oh, dude, that is so awesome. So different cases can actually be picked up, and it can give you different benefits, as well as adding these little charms that give you benefits as well, like the chicken. Adding the chicken charm in here, didn't it say it like one chicken egg gives you like 100% health or something crazy like that? Yeah, 100% health recovery for all egg types. That is just, those are the little things in this game that you don't really expect them to add these kinds of things, but they do, and it definitely just makes the game feel a lot more whole and rounded, along with all the type of gameplay, the newer gameplay that they're showing off, and all the new things that Isaac can do.
In the
That is
typewriter menu, as you
fantastic.
Saw. So you can't do that all the time, just when you reach those saves point.
And even the case itself just has like a little bit of a 3D element to it. That is so neat. So neat. Like I said, I mean, these guys can put in just these little tiny bits of extra detail, and it really puts a smile on your face because you can tell how much they actually care about what they're doing. They're wanting to bring to you, something that is not really so much a just standard high definition type of a reboot or remake, because we can see, in some instances how there can be some remakes where, it is more or less the same than what the original had, but adding these extra details and stuff like this can really, I'd say like hype you up, to be able to actually experience this in because this game has had a very large impact on a lot of people that have played the Resident Evil series, have played survival horror. This was actually my first Resident Evil 4 was actually my first Resident Evil title that I experienced. It was Resident Evil 4, then it was 5, and I will have to say I am guilty of not actually playing some of the originals. I played Resident Evil 0, but I've been kind of waiting on 1 and 2 because I have been kind of dying to play Resident Evil Village. I think specifically I really want to play 2 before I actually play this game. And it looks like that's about all that we have. So I would have to say, guys, that's about all that I have on this new gameplay of Resident Evil 4. It was nice to really watch the stuff and react to it, and really see, how much more of an atmospheric push that they're bringing into the game. Again, like I was saying, with the RE engine being able to really bring these environments and these characters to life, it is so breathtaking to experience this day and age, because you always thought back in the day with games like this, what would this game look like, in a more cinematic element, in a more modern tone, like graphic wise, the way that they're just able to push graphics these days, it is amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed my reactions and take on this exclusive gameplay of Resident Evil 4 Remake. Like I said, I am going to be super excited to play this when that time comes. Hopefully I'll be a little more caught up on things, and I'll be able to get some gameplay out there when the time is right. So if you guys enjoyed this little reaction of myself going through these new segments of Resident Evil 4's gameplay of the cabin and so on and so forth, make sure to stay connected to the channel, because I will continue to bring updates such as these as long as I am passionate about the specific title that I will be either reacting to or talking about. Dead Island 2 is definitely another one that I'm going to probably be covering soon. I've seen some new stuff with that as well, so I'm just kind of waiting for some more things to compile, and then I'll probably be putting a video together for that. So I appreciate it, guys, and if you also enjoyed this video, you can put a like on it if you choose to, and make sure to comment down below and let me know how excited you are for the Resident Evil 4 Remake. I know that I am. let me know what you guys are thinking about that, and I will catch you in the next one when that time is ready to come. Take care.